apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Recall your from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you with another impromptu lesson. Excuse the shortness of breath, just coming down from a cold or whatnot. But I caught this video a couple of minutes ago from David Hoffman, filmmaker, and it's entitled 1968, Black Wives Push Back on Their Husbands. They Expect More. All right. And, we've seen this conversation carry on from 1968 all the way up into 2025, going on so-called 2026. We've seen this conversation take place over and over and over again. And throughout the years, we've seen how it's systematically dismantled the Israelite family. Until now, we're to the point to where the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American family is completely destroyed. The family nucleus is no longer existent, and that's all been systematically set in place by our enemies. Let's get this in Mark chapter 3 and verse 27. It says, "No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house." And in order to overtake a household and eventually a nation, you must first bind the strong man. And that's exactly what our enemies did. All right, when they came together with one consent to cut us off from being a nation. All right, because Psalms 83 tells us that the nations came together. All right, Esau, Moab, Ammon, Gabal, Tyre, all right, Ishmael. Okay, they all came together with one consent to cut us off from being a nation. All right, and one thing that they consented together on is by binding the strong men, by binding the Israelite man, all right, and making him obsolete within the Israelite household and family. Okay, we've seen different systems set in place within the society, such as habitat housing, Section 8, affirmative action, and so on and so forth, all right, that have made the so-called black man or Israelite man obsolete within the family, no longer useful, so to speak, in the society. And it's all been by design. It's, again, Mark 3 and 27. "No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house." And right now, what we're witnessing take place throughout the years is the binding of the Israelite man, the devaluing of the Israelite man. In today's society, the Israelite man has no respect. But when Yahawashi returns, the Israelite man will get his respect back. And I'm going to say that again. When Yahawashi returns, the Israelite man will get his respect back. And even before that, in the time of Jacob's trouble, when the society collapses, the Israelite man, all right, the elect Israelite man, is going to be like that fine gold of Ophir, all right, more precious than gold. The true value of a man is not dictated by how many resources he commands, contrary to Esau Edom's doctrine, his dogma. All right, the so-called white man taught our women, all right, and our men, all right, to value themselves in their possessions and in their status in this life. But the Lord values values us by our faith, by our understanding of his will, by our integrity. That's how a true man is valued. And the world is going to come to see that in a very harsh way first. And then afterward, when Yahawashi takes his reign, then the world is going to witness true manhood, and a true nuclear family. I just want to play a couple of minutes from this video because some of the arguments, that we listened to today took place back during, the 60s, man. Going to show you that nothing is new. Nothing is new under the sun. Everything has repeated itself. And now the beautiful thing is that's all coming to a hedge. All right, these asinine conversations, these fucking useless, vain, pointless debates and debagles are all coming to an end. It's all coming to an end. And thank Yahweh the water, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi for the end of these useless fucking debates. All right, the truth of the matter is being made manifest right before our eyes. All right. And the truth is, you women don't got it. All right. A lot of you men don't got it. All right. The ones who got it are the Lord's prophets, starting with our elders, apostles, a great millstone on down, man. All right.
As a reporter for the Chicago Daily Defender, and as a black woman married to a black man, I've become deeply aware of the effects of this new black revolution on the relationship between black man and black woman. As a reporter for the Chicago Daily Defender, and as a black woman married to a black man, I've become deeply aware of the effects of this new black revolution on the relationship between black man and black woman. I see it among my own friends, and
to be independent. You know, Eve wanted to follow after the Shedemite woman and being, independent from her male counterpart. Which we see how that's going for Esau, Edom. We see how that's going for them. The birth rates are low. All right. The birth rates are low. They're losing. Okay. The women are struggling. And we're seeing how it's turning out for a lot of you so-called black women, man.
Also see it in my home. The most revealing and the most vocal statements about what the new black man expects from the new black woman came when I met with a group of young unmarried friends one Saturday afternoon. Also see it in my home. But the most revealing and the most vocal statements about what the new black man expects from the new black woman came when I met with a group of young unmarried friends one Saturday afternoon.
And that's also,
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women is concerned is that there's a revolution within a revolution. We are fighting our own woman. Our woman will not allow us to emerge as black men.
I created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. All right. And the Lord truly allowed, the woman to compass the man in this society. And we see the fruits of that. Excuse me. We see the fruits of that. We see what the woman compassing a man has led to, and it's led to the complete destruction of the nuclear family, which the family is the building block to a nation. The family is a building block to the nation. And these are fundamental concepts that we're coming to understand by the renewing of our minds. We didn't grow up learning these things. We didn't grow up knowing these things. These things were completely, we were completely oblivious to these things in the world. But now with the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, the fundamentals of life and family and nationhood are starting to return back into us. And this pitting against one another was one. It's a part of the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. According as a product of our disobedience. Excuse me. It's also, a part of what the Lord said He would do in Jeremiah 31, with the woman compassing the man. Now pursuing to Micah 7. These women who are our enemies. Let's get it. These women have become our enemies. This is Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. She who has become our enemy through the beguiling of the serpent, once again, is going to be trodden down like the mire of the streets. And it's going to happen just like that. And it needs to happen just like that. For not only our women, in our nation to learn their lesson, but for the nations abroad to learn the lesson as well. Because a very traumatic experience is getting ready to be felt in the earth from all nations. All nations are going to be traumatized by Yahawashi's return. And it's going to set a precedent and a new standard in the earth for righteousness.
Black women who have been put in this role of aiding white America, white structure, and castrating the black male has continued doing this. She cannot live with us. It's not that we can't live with her.
Are you blaming us? Are you saying that it's our fault that this happened?
And that's proven.
Black women who have been put in this role of aiding white America, white structure, and castrating the black male has continued doing this. She cannot live with us. It's not that we can't live with her.
Are you blaming us? Are you saying that it's our fault that this happened?
Given so-called options outside of her nation, outside of her man, which has caused her to go looking other other places, And it's not that Jake doesn't want to live with Eve. Jacob put up with some complete bullshit, man. And we all know it. Jacob put up with some bullshit to stay with Eve, but at the slightest inconvenience, these women are ready to jump ship, and they've been given the option to do so. Therefore, they do it. You give Eve an option to jump off a bridge, she'll do it and call it freedom. It's just how naive a lot of these women are. And Esau Edom has capitalized greatly off of that ignorance, boy. He's capitalized greatly off of that ignorance. But that capitalization is coming to an end. Because now Esau's starting to alienate the so-called black woman as well.
No, I'm not blaming black America women. I just said that I'm blaming the system. They are victims of the system like the black male.
Well, why do you say that we are castrating you? You say that you want to be the leaders. Okay, well, what about the black professional woman? Are you saying that there should be no black professional woman? Are you trying to deny black women the right to be creative, the right to function?
We're not asking for you to take a back seat. We're saying that you have got to be astute enough and can view the situation well enough where you just automatically know what your role is and step back. And whenever you want to have that aggressive thing, this is the thing that the young black man today is not going to tolerate. My old man tolerated it because his old man tolerated it. It came up for years and years and years. But today, the young black man is not going to take it. He's going to be out there as a leader. White America has used black women to keep the black male in his place. And you're still aiding them by saying, well, we are qualified, we want to work, we can help.
Okay. I have had dealings with. They are perfectly willing to sit back and let us do anything we want to. How are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility? And men that I have had dealings with, they are perfectly willing to sit back and let us do anything we want to.
I don't think that you have to reprogram men. I think you have to reprogram women.
No, you have to reprogram the man so that he will forcefully take what belongs to him, because women, as long as we can get, we're gonna get, and it's part of our being. We're going to do anything to you that you let us, whether we want to or not.
You don't want to live on the level of income that I can afford you in.
There have been a lot of myths created about the black family. We all recognize that. And one of the most pernicious myths is the myth of the black matriarch.
It was not like
the black woman has not been a matriarch in the sense that it has been defined thus far. And thank God research, and I hope black research, is being done now to reverse that kind of thing. In fact, the black woman has been a woman at the head of a household, not by choice, but by necessity. And more often, that's right, and more often than not, she is not a strong, matriarchal, aggressive, domineering figure. She is a woman in search of a man. But this story has not been told.
The prejudiced society created what we have now.
Black history and culture to be transmitted.
Word revolution around lightly.
It's extremely important for black history and culture to be transmitted from generation to generation. And the best way, the most effective way that this has always been done is through the family, acting as the primary unit of social organization. And I think one reason why it has not been done with black people is because of the destruction done to our family life. So this certainly has to be one function of the black marriage, to begin to reemphasize and to pick up the thread of Afro-American history and culture that has been left off generations ago when Africans were sold into slavery.
Earth, ruled by Yahawashi. All right, and under Yahawashi is going to be King David and the 144,000 governing body of the nation of Israel. Okay, and under that dominion, all right, a little one is going to become a nation. All right, signaling a strong family nucleus. All right, this is Isaiah 60. I'm going to start at verse 18. It says, violence shall no more be heard in thy land. And this is a form of violence. All right, how the so-called white man has systematically put the so-called black, Latino, and Native American Indian women against their men is violence. All right, the uplifting of women and feminism is violence against the nation. And when Yahawashi returns, that violence shall be no more. It says, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt, call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous, meaning our people are going to have those new bodies with the laws, statutes, and commandments written within their inward parts, meaning there is going to be no more sin or no more going off. All right, there's not going to be a thought on a woman compassing a man. There's not going to be a thought on devaluing the Israelite man. That's not even going to be a thought, because it's not according to righteousness, and it's not according to the standard that the Lord set up from the foundation. It says, they shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time. All right, and this time is being hastened for the Lord's elect, man. All right, the time of righteousness, the time of wholeness, the time of Yahawashi's dominion. This time is being hastened. The time of the true nuclear family. A strong one, a little one shall become a strong nation. A small one shall become a strong nation. It's a strong family. All right, and a strong family is a strong nation. And the nation of Israel, under Yahawashi, will never be overtaken. Forever. This debate won't take place after Yahawashi's dominion. This debate won't take place after Yahawashi comes to establish his dominion. This debate is going to be over with in Babylon the Great. Trust that. This debate isn't going to be carried over into the kingdom. Fuck all that, man. This is the end for vain, goofy, weird, deboggling. Shalom.